Greetings, Glitter Gang. Happy Thursday. It's 9 o'clock on Thursday, March 18th. You're here. Nope, come back here. Oh, Kitty was just about to put her paw on the desk, and then she was like, I'm out. They can see me. I don't know how I know they can see me, but they can see me. So it's 9 o'clock on Thursday, March 18th. I hope you all had a lovely... Hi. I hope you all had a lovely St. Patrick's Day if you celebrate it. Tomorrow, I hope you have a lovely St. Joseph's Day if you celebrate it. I think that's mostly Italians, but we shall see. I am going to say hi to a few people in the chat, but first I see Mary says that her son and her 9-month-old grandson tested positive for the big bad. Son is getting better and grandson is asymptomatic. Well, it's good that he has no symptoms and isn't suffering. Hopefully he'll be totally fine. So everyone, if you send your thoughts and prayers to Mary and her family, hopefully everything will be cool for everyone. So well, that's too bad, Mary. That's too bad. Hopefully everything will be all right. We shall see. I'm glad everyone seems fine so far and that mom is negative. Okay, so this afternoon we finished all the envelopes for the Pouch-A-Lope album. So tonight, we're going to work on inserts for the pouches. So where I want to start with inserts for the pouches is with the embellishments, because we're going to go through and, prep embellishments for pouch insertion, I think. Okay, so I'm going to go through and we're going to find everything that would be good inserted into a pouch. So that's what we're looking for. And we can, there's some obvious things like these, but, also cards. We have 3 sheets of cards we can play around with. I think these are all the embellishments, the second sheets. Yeah, these are all the second sheets. So I won't break into these right away unless we need them. All right, so things that we can put in envelopes, that maybe, I'll make a maybe pile, that. All right, so this little maybe pile I'm going to set to the side. Actually, I'm just going to put it in this bag because I think it'll fit in this bag. And we will get to these if/when we need them. All right. So from these, we need to think about which ones need to be backed, because a lot of them we can just stick right in them. So like, for example, because they all have pattern paper on the back. So like this doesn't need a gray mat. A gray mat isn't going to do anything for this. But this, because it's a frame, it is going to need a mat of some kind. Okay, so we need to divide things into like a mat, no mat. I'm just going to get rid of this geotag for now. Put it in that, my little bag of maybes over here. Okay. Now, same thing with this. This one needs a mat. Because it's a frame. This one doesn't necessarily need a mat, but because it's a shape, I think I will give it a mat. This one can go in the envelope. All right, from here, I'm going to take this and give it a mat. And then I look at the other stuff and I'm thinking I could throw the gems in. I don't need really tiny stuff because we do have a border on the pouch. So I'll just set this to the side. But stuff like these ephemeras and these, we'll give that a mat. These slides I'm going to give a mat. Give this a mat. Give this a mat. Give this a mat. Give this a mat. Don't give any of these a mat. Okay. This is its own thing, just like these are. I guess they're in the no mat category. And then over here, we have cards. So with the cards, I don't want anything that's 4 by 6. So this is 4 inches across by 6 inches down. I don't want 4 by 6 because of the way that the envelope is. We're not going to really see the whole thing, but anything like this is perfectly fine. So let me get my little, and then if we get everything organized really well, we can just throw a bunch of goodies in to the pockets and they'll look really stuffed. All right, so then this one and even this one we could use. So we shall see, we shall see. This one's too big, so I'm not going to use it. This one I'm going to give a mat. This one doesn't need a mat. All right. Okay, so from here, this is fine. These are fine. These are fine, but not this one. So this one, didn't we cut the cup out? Maybe the cup would look better just kind of floating. Did we use the cup we cut out? We did, didn't we? Yeah, it's not in here. Okay. This one I'm going to put in the needs a mat just in case I want to cut that cup out again. All right. This one I'm going to put in the needs a mat as well so we can cut it into this bracket shape, just make it more interesting. This one I'll keep it out, but I don't know that I'll necessarily use it. We'll see. but we can use a lot of these. This one needs a mat. This one we're not going to use. This one will do needs a mat. All right, and then now I can start doing something. It was a spike? Okay. Yeah, I think it was a spike. You're right. Okay. All right, so now once I'm at this stage, what am I going to do with all this stuff? So stuff like these, okay. By the way, I finally put together that cart from We Are Memory Keepers, and my sister was up in my office and she was like, what is this like thing made out of lunch trays? And she's so right. They do seem like school lunch trays. But I've got one for my embellishments, I've got one for my scraps, and I've got one for my uncut paper for this project. And I can have 2 collections like that because there's 6 trays. So it is handy. It is actually pretty handy. Especially because you can just grab the trays if you need. So I'm just gonna trim, trim, trim. It's pricey, especially for what you get. It's a little cheap. I'm not gonna lie, but I think its cheapness is part of the utility, like, because it's those plastic lunch trays. You can grab a lunch tray. Like, I think you're supposed to keep everything for a 12 by 12 project on it or something. Like, that's the idea. So you can just grab it and keep working on your layout or whatever. But, I mean, for the kind of involved crafting in a mini album, it really helps organize your supplies. So, like, for example, you know, here's the embellishment tray. And then here's the scrap tray. And right now they're in their bags because I tidied up after the last show. But, you know, as I'm working, I can just toss stuff on them. Ah, Jill says she bought just the trays at IKEA. Yeah. So that's an idea. Because like I said, I do think the We Are Memory Keepers one is pricey for what you get. I agree. Yeah, exactly. Rimmed baking sheets is also something you could use. So, but if you're wondering if like proof of concept, if it works, it does. All right, so now I'm just gonna score this and fold it. And so this can go in a pouch. It's a little large, so I may not use this one. Okay, so this one I'm going to cut it out. Well, if I cut it, okay. If I cut it out and mat it on gray cardstock, the gray cardstock will like exaggerate the shape, but then we have to put something on the back, which isn't the end of the world. It's not like we can't put stuff on the back. Let's ponder that. You could get, if you used baking sheets, you could get one of those cooling racks. I don't know. That'd probably be way more expensive than the We Are Memory Keepers thing. The cooling racks that bakers use, those are probably really expensive because they're all metal. Yeah, I'm trying to think what you would stack them on. Like where they're gonna all live. Jill says she has them sitting on the drawer units that are in front of her desk. Oh, just like going all the way across the top, you have all your trays? Okay. So when I line up this to do the scoring, I just line it up with this black line on my tray, on my scoreboard. Okay. All right. Yeah, I'm going to leave a lot of these more square, I think. All right. So the ones that I want, I said I'm going to leave a lot of them square. This is the pile of ones I'm leaving square. I'm not going to use this tiny pocket. I'm going to put it on the tray. Okay. Then we'll start to work on these. All right, so with something like this, I'm going to cut the inside out first with my craft knife. Okay, so once I've got the inside cut out, I'm just going to take this and set it somewhere else. Can you be me? Sure, we'll swap. I'll go on vacation in Hawaii and you can teach this class. I'm not sure you're getting the good part of the deal. Just I'm not sure. All right, so this will probably fall under be careful what you wish for. All right, so now doing all this prep kind of seems like, you know, it's a lot of work all at once, but then we can just fill these envelopes really quickly. So you just kind of think of it as, you know, we could try to find things one at a time for each envelope. Or I can kind of do the same process multiple times get in a groove. And then the stuffing part will go faster. Of course, and I know I mentioned it last week, but last week I watched all those envelope stuffing videos. So now I just want to stuff things in envelopes. That's all I want to do. Okay. So then at some point, let's do the other one. At some point, we will put little frames behind them and then put them on gray to give them a little oomph. Yeah, I think I embellish better when I prep my embellishments. I mean, embellishing is my, you guys know that I prefer decorating to construction, just in general, and I'm happy to spend a lot of time on it. However, with the pouches, they all kind of have very similar needs, so I think doing it like this is a good time to do it, versus when I do an album where all the pages are different. Then it makes more sense to do it page at a time. It just kind of depends on the project, what that particular project needs. Yeah, I'm going to make at least one, we're going to create at least one insert that's like a wallet of some kind, so that we have at least some photo wallet in all of them, even if we just make one and we do it 6 times. We'll see how smart my brain is when we get to that point. All right. So next week is book club. So make sure you've read the book before next week if you want to participate in the discussion. I still have, my library says I still have 2 more weeks on my hold, which is like not so great. However, my backup library app, the one that I don't use as much because I don't like the formatting of it as much. I don't find it as easy to use as Libby. Hoopla. Hoopla has it, and the good thing about Hoopla is that if they have it, they have it. Like, there's no waiting. The book's either there or it isn't. If the book is in the Hoopla catalog, then anyone can check it out at any time. So I will be able to get it if it doesn't come in the next couple days. But, which is good, because if it hadn't been in Hoopla, I was going to have to buy it. And I have a feeling, based on some comments, that I don't need to own this one. All right. Okay, so this one, I am going to cut around it. I'm just going to use my paper trimmer. Well, Okay. Then I'm going to round the corners. I'm going to use a 1/2 inch corner rounder, I think. No. 1/2 inch is too big. Or too tight. Honestly, 3/8 is a little too tight, but I've already done one, so it is what it is. I should have done a 1/2 inch. Okay. That's fine. All right, we're gonna give that a mat. Okay. This one looks like I chewed whatever was inside it out of the inside, instead of like cutting it out. We have Johnson & Johnson, Pfizer. I know we have the one that starts with an A. Hasn't been approved here yet, but we already have some of them because they expect it to be approved. Right? What is that one? AstraZeneca? And then Moderna's the other one. It would be good if we voted for Bookish Life of Nina Hill. Okay, you can you can put, when I put the voting up next week, you should make a plea in the comments. That one was on sale this week. I got a thing from Amazon about it. It's amusing. Well, that's good. We wanted something fun. All the April books are good. Well, that's because I chose them and not Reese Witherspoon. And as you all know, I've never chosen a blah book before. I was reading about that, Jill, that there's something wrong with the European batch or something, maybe? It's like under investigation and they stopped using it. I don't think it's all of them. Doing a class on what to do with scraps. Sure. We can do, in between albums, I can do something like that. I'll probably forget. But so like the next time we finish an album, just remind me, Kathy. Like I'll try to remember, but my mind is like a steel sieve, as I say. Yeah. Yeah, the article I read said that they thought it was really specifically, they thought it was like something about the EU batch or something. Not that necessarily all the AstraZenecas were like that, because I know the Europeans asked our government here to release our AstraZeneca vaccines to them, the ones that we have stockpiled for if the FDA approves it. So like I think they think that some of them are safe. And again, I have no like actual real information on this. Like I just read an article about it. But I don't think they're all, I don't think there's something wrong with all of them necessarily. But you, We can't even get it here yet, so. You participated in another book club and it was awful. What did you read? My worst vaccine experience was when I was going to the Dominican Republic, but like a very rural part where there was no clean water, very close to the border with Haiti. And so I had to get a ton of vaccines for that. And on the same day, I got yellow fever, hepatitis A, and started taking malaria vaccine. And that was a bad day for me. And they were like, you know, which hand is your dominant hand, because you won't be able to use one of your arms because of how much pain one of the vaccines causes. And they're like, so you need to be able to drive. And I was like, well, I have a stick shift, so I mean, I have to use both my arms to drive my car. But yeah, one of them was one of the ones where they like jam it right into the muscle and then they have to like rub it out or whatever. Ugh, it sucked. I think that was, I don't know if that was yellow fever or Hep A or one of them. But that was a bad day. That was a bad day for sure. Not fun. So when people are like, yeah, I got a sore arm, I'm like, well, I too have had a sore arm from a vaccine. It wasn't that fun, but probably more fun than getting yellow fever. So, you know, so I feel your pain. Oh, Kylie Reed's book. Such a fun age. It's such a fun age. I read that last year. Did I read that last year? Yes, I read that in 2020. I did. Yeah, Mary's talking about Such a Fun Age by Kylie Reed. I think I gave it 3 stars. If I was feeling generous, I would have given it 4, I think. I think a lot of really good stuff was covered in the book. Like, she really dove deep on a lot of topics, but I don't know how if the target audience would always like the book, I guess, you know. because it's a very different take on literary fiction. I thought it was really interesting. The tone she chose. I especially liked that the heroine just doesn't want to do anything with her life. And, you know, she just wants to make a living wage and hang out with her friends. And, you know, that's so outside the norm of, like any advice or what's seen as the right thing in terms of character growth or whatever. So I thought that was very interesting. The moderator wouldn't tolerate any opinion other than her own. That is actually super weird because, like, book club is more fun when you have a lot of opinions. That's why the bad books are the best, really, because everyone's got, like, an opinion, you know? Have I chose the May books yet? No. Have I? Hold on, let me look if I did. I might have and then forgot I did. But I don't think so. I don't think I did. Do you like that I don't know? I just don't know what is going on with my life, ever. All right, let me look at my book club idea list. No, there's only 3 books. There's only 3 books on it, and it's the April book, so I haven't done May books. That makes sense. Do you guys have a theme? That you want to do? Any particular theme you want to do? The book was good, the group was not. Yeah, I thought it was a good book. Like I said, I can't remember if I gave it 3 or 4 stars. And also, just want to reiterate that I consider 3 stars to be a good rating. I know I say that all the time, but I do consider 3 stars to be a good rating. It's my most commonly given rating. And it means I think you did everything that you set out to do as a writer. So, by the way, this was the approach I took with employee evaluations, so my employees loved that. Well, they still got raises even though they got 3s, so, and 4s. Yeah, it's weird if you don't want discussion in a book club. I don't know what the point is. Just select books I've read that you haven't. Oh, interesting. Am I wrong about the book? But I thought I understood what the author was trying to say. I thought it was pretty clear, Mary. What did I miss? What did I miss? I do not get the book at all? Oh, I see. Okay, that's cool. I mean, there's other stuff going on in the book that I didn't discuss. But, you know, I do think a really important and often overlooked aspect of the book is how the main character has no motivation to do anything, really, and how that's totally okay. Presented as totally okay by the author. That was so unique. I mean, there's other important topics being discussed in the book, but, like, that was one of the things I thought was most interesting. Because it was definitely this, like, rejection of, like, bootstrapping capitalism as, like, a model for success. What makes a successful person. And again, you just don't see it that often. You know, usually protagonists of books are, like, really superlative in some way. That's very common. Anyway, yeah, I tell you what I'll do. I'll go over my books that I rated 4 and 5 stars and see if any of them kind of jump out at me as having like a theme. You're out of hold spots at your libraries. That drives me crazy because then I have to go through my, if I have something I want to put on hold, I have to go through and be like, all right, which one of you do I not care about anymore? And one thing that's really annoying me is that 6 of my hold spots are being used up by one book series because the last book in the series had like a 20 plus week wait when I put it on my hold list. So I have everything's available except for that last one, you know, which I'm down to like 12 weeks or something. But like they've just, all the other books have been like cluttering up because I want to just be able to read it boom, boom, boom because that's how I like to read series. I don't like to space series out. And I only have 40 slots, which I know from discussion in the chat is a lot of slots. So thanks to my library system, I have 40 slots. But still, that's over 10% of my slots. Actually, Before the Coffee Gets Cold is very much an it book right now. I see that recommended a lot. And it's always on the homepage of my Hoopla app. Every time I go on Hoopla, it's always like, do you want to get the book Before the Coffee Gets Cold? So, but I haven't read that one. So, you were surprised how dumb you were too. How did it feel to learn you were an idiot, Mary? How did it feel to learn that you know nothing about books and how to read and interpret them? Was that a big blow? Like, did you cry or how'd you take it? Are you just going to read comics from now on or something like that? All right, so I'm gonna... The main character was what? I mean, did she maybe think that the main character was not... what's her name? Amira? Yeah, we could just read comics for a month. We could do a graphic novel month. Although I'm not an expert on graphic novels, but I read a few really great ones this year so far. I've been reading more of them this year. I've also read some very stupid ones. They're the same as other types of books. There's good ones, mediocre ones, and bad ones. Well, Mary's talking about Such a Fun Age by Kylie Reid. She went to a book club for it and apparently didn't understand it at all. All right, so Melanie's stepfather-in-law has to have a stent put in today due to a blockage. So thoughts and prayers for his swift. I've read Watchmen. I read Watchmen years ago, probably 10 years ago, probably when the movie was coming out. It's not bad. I read From Hell this year, and From Hell was absolutely terrible. Like, From Hell, it's also by Alan Moore. From Hell is so bad that I find the fact that it has more than a 4-star rating on Goodreads shocking. Like, my brain exploded. Like, I could not comprehend. I don't know why it's so famous. So... All right, so now we're ready to go on to our next phase, which is to kind of like matte all of these. I think it is famous because it's Alan Moore. And like, I think a lot of the people who love it very much miss the point of it. Because a lot of people will say, aside from chapter 5, it's great. But like chapter 5 is the most critical chapter in the entire thing. That's where he lays out his thesis for the whole graphic novel. So if you think chapter 5 is boring and you skipped it, then I don't think you read, I mean, you didn't read it. Like, not really. You didn't have, well, you didn't have the experience Alan Moore wanted you to have. So, like, Watchmen was a movie, was made into a movie, yes. Okay, so let's ink everybody. So I don't forget to like ink some of them before I glue them down. Not that I would do that. As you all know, I am totally perfect. I think the movie is, whatever. I mean, I don't need to get into Zack Snyder's adaptations of things right now because he just, I mean, actually, let me like dunk on Zack Snyder just a little bit because I love to do it. But I think Zack Snyder's interpretation of Watchmen is wrong. And I think he makes into a hero a character that's meant to be a villain and therefore misses like the complete point of everything that's going on. That said, Mr. Lifeguard is downstairs right now watching the Snyder cut of Justice League. And I have to tell you, the pretensions of Zack Snyder that I experienced before walking up here is like mind-boggling. So the first thing is, it's 4 hours long, which is like, calm down, Cecil B. DeMille, all right? Just calm down. Then the first thing that pops up on the screen is, this video is being shown in a 4:3 aspect ratio to preserve Zack Snyder's artistic vision. And I'm like, excuse you. I was like, what is this, Hamlet with Sir Laurence Olivier now? Zack Snyder's vision of Batman? Go away. Yes, HBO Max got it today. I mean, he quit for personal, very serious personal reasons. Like, I don't hold. Yes, exactly, Fran. And like, he died this really heroic death and it was like all dramatic and stuff. And it's like, no, he was a rapist and a war criminal. He was terrible. You know, like, it's just horrible. So yeah, I think that really just the tone of the movie is messed up from that, which is, it can be still, you know, it doesn't make it automatically a bad movie. It's just a poor adaptation at that point, I think, is what I would say. But yeah, it's like, yeah, just Zack Snyder's artistic vision for the Justice League that's 4 hours long, because I guess his artistic vision doesn't include editing at all. So I guess that's also a fair take. Like, he shouldn't be critiquing other people's work like that when he did step down voluntarily. That's true. Anyways, I'm going to agree with your opinion because I don't like Zack Snyder that much, so. I don't think Henry Cavill's a good Superman. I have seen Henry Cavill in other things, and I think he's a fine actor. I just don't think he's a good Superman. I liked Brandon Routh. I don't know why, like, people bagged on. I mean, the movie he was in wasn't great, but it wasn't his fault. But I mean, Zack Snyder also turned Superman into kind of like a mass murderer, which I don't think is like Superman's vibe. Okay, almost there, friends. Well, almost to the part where we start gluing these to mats, and then well, the Justice League movie was bad. I mean, maybe it's an improvement. I'll ask Mr. Lifeguard if he thought that. So should we avoid it or not? Justice League? Should you watch Justice League? I don't know. Wait. Should you avoid Watchmen? Hold on. Watchmen's a movie. It's a very violent movie about very terrible people. If you can watch a very violent movie, and there's no hero, okay? There's no hero. All the people are bad. It's like a pack of villains. That's what it's about. Because it's anti-war and it's anti-authoritarianism, and so it's supposed to be a critique of the American foreign policy, the way we idolize superheroes, vigilantes, that kind of thing, the police state. Alan Moore's an anarchist. Like, that's kind of the direction he's coming at it from. All right, so just all of the takes are going to be negative. You know, all of the takes are going to be negative. So if you can if that is fine for you, it's also rated R, and one of the characters is always naked, full frontal. So, like, that's the movie you're getting into. If that all sounds fine, there's some interesting ideas in there. Graphic novel's better. You can get them all from the graphic novel. So, I don't know. If you're talking about Justice League, I did not appreciate my time with Justice League. So, I don't think Justice League is a must-see. All right, so I'm just going to lightly pencil the corners so I know where to cut this. So yeah, if you're talking about Justice League, that's not a good movie, really. And I don't believe that it being twice as long is going to save it. But, you know, maybe it will. Gretchen, if you like movies about real people who do extraordinary things and you haven't seen Harriet with Cynthia Erivo yet, I recommend that. We watched that last night. It was great. It was super interesting. I learned a ton of stuff about Harriet Tubman I didn't already know. Like, I didn't know she had hallucinations where God talked to her. Like, I didn't know, and that she used those to guide her on the Underground Railroad. And that's because she couldn't read maps and stuff, because she couldn't read. So, like, that was really fascinating. From a head injury, she had a head injury when she was young. She was in a coma for over a month from it, but she survived. And after it, she could hear voices telling her where to go and what to do. I thought that was fascinating. All right. And yeah, she was just a complete and total amazing person. So, and I love Cynthia Erivo. So, like, just, I think she's awesome. Okay, so for these, obviously, it's just easier if you're going to put your little photo in beforehand. You don't have to, you know, but it's harder if you don't. And she's a singer. She comes to film from the theater, and she does a lot of singing in the movie too, and she has an amazing, wonderful voice. So it's almost kind of a musical. It's just not, you know, there's a lot of singing in it, but it's not like a musical in the sense that the action stops so people can, like, sing and dance around. Like, it's all incorporated into what's going on. So Kathy says when she uses these mats, she prints one in reverse so she can back them together, which is really a smart idea. All right. Anxious People is definitely on my list. I've been waiting for it to come in at my library. And then it came in last month, but I let it stay on hold because I wasn't ready for it last month. And then this month I really haven't read much at all. I've only read 2 books this whole month. So, so far. But maybe if I read Anxious People after I read Erotic Widows, then I will be in. I mean, I read a lot at the beginning of the year, so I think I just needed a break. I was also sick, which makes, I don't like to read when I'm sick. I don't have the concentration for it. But I've read 65 books this year, or something like it. So even because I read so many books in February and January. And Beartown is a TV show on HBO Max, actually. Has been made into a TV show. Beartown is also a book by Frederick Backman, who wrote A Man Called Uva, which was a book club pick from last month. I have not read any Marie Bostwick. Okay. So this is the last one of these. So I'm going to just go around the edge, glue it down, and then glue the whole thing to my book, or to my mat. I have heard that Beartown is pretty serious subject matter. I mean, A Man Called Uva also had really serious subject matter. So I think that's just what he likes to do. He likes to, you know, write about stuff like that. But you got to know your limits so that you take care of yourself when you're reading. All right, so May will do I'll try and find 5 stars. 5-star books I've rated 5 stars. It's the 5th month of the year, so it'll only be books I rated 5 stars. And then you guys can see if you like, if you think I have any taste in books at all. You'll find out. All right. One down. Wow, she should have punched him while accidentally holding her craft knife. Just kidding. Don't punch people. That's not nice. Okay. Maybe he was only 7. Oh, so it was a compliment about how mature she was. All right, so we got all 3 of these done. Now, the rest of them will be a lot easier because they don't need frames. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a recording break here, but let's find the 3 envelope or pouches that they will. Oh, Kitty! Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Oh my goodness, Kitty. Oh, I'm so sorry. You're okay. Everyone's fine. You're fine. I'm fine. Joe, how are you? She's yelling at me. She's yelling at me because I almost rolled on her foot. She was sleeping behind the wheels of my chair, so when I rolled back to get something, she jumped up and started yelling at me because she almost got squished. Okay. I'm doing well. Okay. So we've got these 3. I'm going to put this one here. Well, Okay, that one there. There we go. All right. Hi. I'm sorry. Have you come? Have you? Okay. You know what? I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. It was a very big mistake that I made. It was a huge mistake. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry for my huge mistake that I made. You're right. You're right. I'm the worst. I'm the worst. Oh, her feet are sliding. Wah! Shwa! She's like, I'm out. I'm out. So, I must be punished. I must be punished. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a recording break here. We'll mat all the rest of these and find them homes. And then if there's time, we'll work on an insert. If not, next week we'll make like at least 3 different inserts or something. All right, get out of here. Thank you. All right. Cat furs. Okay, so I'm going to do a recording break here, and then I'm going to take all of these and mat them. Kitty is a little skinnier. Yes, Kitty's lost some weight. Kitty loses weight very slowly, but she is steadily trending downwards. So, all right, I'll be right back. Thank you so much for watching. I'll be right back in the next video. We'll work with some more of these embellishments. It'll be fun. Bye.